Yes, our tax dollars, your tax dollars, funneled through USAID has led to over 190,000 Guatemalan children being from Guatemala and then tracked into the United States. And the horrors that unfold after that. What happens to these children? Do they disappeared, sexually and thrown away like garbage? Our next guest wanted to break.
Wait, what a bomb this video is. Oh man, you guys are definitely going to watch this one all the way through. Let's jump in.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Sick and disgusting. And a lot of them patriots say this is nothing new. It's been going on for decades. But we got more bombshells, y'all. Every single day. Once again, USAID. And I want to send a huge shout out to my brother all the way from Australia. Shout out to my Australian family. Again, we are worldwide, man. We get so much love outside the US, man. And there's so much love for President Trump. In other countries, I mean, outside, people love President Trump, man. And we get so much love on the channel. It is ridiculous how much love we get, man. But huge shout out to my brother Robert, all the way in Australia, that sent me this bad boy. And I did a video on this last week, and again, the video couldn't even be public. It got censored, you know. So hopefully we won't have any more trouble with this one. But he sent me this one to check out. So I already covered a video on this topic, but we're definitely gonna jump in, and it's disgusting, man, with this child trafficking. So let's go and jump in. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And again, I love you guys, man. I'm wishing the best in everybody's life. And we are winning every single day, man. More has been done in the last 3 weeks than the last 4 years, man. You know, we are off in the right direction, man. The golden age of America is here. Let's go and check this out.
Well, would it shock you to learn that the United States government has been sending millions of dollars to Guatemala? Yes, upwards of $800 million to Guatemala via a laundry list of NGOs and organizations like USAID, and turn Guatemala into the child kidnapping capital of the world. Yes, our tax dollars, your tax dollars, funneled through USAID has led to over 190,000 Guatemalan children being kidnapped from Guatemala and then trafficked into the United States. And the horrors that unfold after that. What happens to these children? Are they killed? Are they disappeared? Sexually abused and thrown away like garbage? Our next guest wanted to break this story right here on Redacted. He has the receipts. He was just in Guatemala. He's just left Guatemala. He's in El Salvador now. He's safe and sound, thankfully. Please welcome independent journalist Ryan Mata to the show. Ryan, great to see you. I mean, sort of following what was unfolding while you were in Guatemala and getting these receipts, and it's an unbelievable story. Can you just paint a 30,000-foot level view of this for our audience? What have you uncovered?
Yeah, Clayton. So you've had me on your show several times to talk about my documentaries, which expose the world's largest child trafficking network that's being ran by our government. So out of the last 4 years, there has been 452,121 migrant children have been trafficked from 180 different nations all around the world into America, where our government takes possession of these children and is now openly admitted to losing 350,000 of them. So after my last documentary release, I was contacted by the Attorney General of Guatemala, and she asked if I could come to Guatemala to sit down with her team and talk about the amount of children that are being kidnapped out of Guatemala. So I started digging into that, found out that 42 to 48% of those children have came from Guatemala alone. That means out of the last 4 years, 190,052 children have been kidnapped out of Guatemala, trafficked into America, and processed into this child trafficking network migratorily by our government. To put that into context, the population size of Guatemala is 15 million. Their child population is 7 million. So over 3% of their entire child population has been kidnapped and trafficked out of Guatemala into America. And they've done so through this network of NGOs that are all being funded by USAID.
So USAID, of course, is now being closed, shut down under DOGE, under Trump. Democrats are freaking out about it. They're trying to bring articles of impeachment against Trump. They're calling for Elon Musk's head. But
if you're against this Elon Musk and Trump movement, man. And now they have Musk derangement syndrome. You are part of the problem. The louder they scream, the guilty they are, man. And people either need to be held accountable, walked out, made an example out of. Put your hands behind your back. And to see where our money is going, has went. Americans are hotter than fish grease, man. That's the saying. Americans are hotter than fish grease. Y'all see what everybody's saying? You know, I see how you feel. People shaking their heads, stomping the ground, hitting the wall. People are striking. Waiting for Trump to just end the taxation. Just shut the whole thing down. Shut the whole agency down. Walk everybody out. You are fired. Audit the whole agency.
The heart of USAID is an absolutely demonic, almost I would say satanic organization that has been involved in this. Now, you've got the receipts. So let's talk about what you've uncovered from the documents here and what you've seen during your time there in Guatemala.
So, Clayton, when I got contacted by the Attorney General, right, I hired a private investigator firm to track every penny that our government has sent to Guatemala over the last 4 years. So that number that you stated, we're right in the open, $797 million has basically been taken out of our taxpayer money and shipped into Guatemala, unaccounted for. There's no oversight over this money. And then he did me a favor. He went back all the way back to 2012. Guess what? $4 billion, over $4 billion has been funneled into Guatemala since 2012. And I have the receipts for that. So because my name has gotten pretty big in Guatemala, and they know they can't trust their government, they can't trust their news, it's all being ran by USAID, the government's rotted to the core. The only one good in that government is the Attorney General's office. I had a whistleblower come forward and handed me a thumb drive. And on that thumb drive is offshore bank accounts of Ambassador Todd Robinson, a previous Attorney General, Thelma Aldana. So Thelma Aldana is now a fugitive in Guatemala. She's on the run. She's being protected by our State Department. She's getting awards by Anthony Blinken. And I have her offshore bank accounts. A woman that was making $40,000 to $50,000 a year has offshore bank accounts, not just one, multiple, with millions of dollars in them, Clayton, millions of dollars. Yeah, Todd Robinson, the previous ambassador to Guatemala, who was the ambassador to Guatemala from 2014 to 2017, has offshore bank accounts with millions of dollars in them. And there was transactions taking place in those offshore accounts when he was the ambassador. And then he was promoted by Anthony Blinken to like the top narcotics cop of the world.
So do we know where this money directly came from? Have you been able to track where it came from? Were these payments coming through these NGOs funneled from USAID?
Not yet. That's why I'm coming here to break this story, because we need somebody like Kash Patel. We need somebody like Pam Bondi, somebody that has access to get that information that I don't have access to. I just got lucky to get this thumb drive, and I promised them that I would put it out here and give it to the world. And that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm on your show. It's not my information. We need people at the highest level to investigate these criminals. Yes. And I got one more for you, Clayton.
Oh, yeah, please.
So in this list is a declassified internal document from within Guatemala. And it looks like it would be the equivalent, I believe, of like our Secret Service or our CIA. Somebody at the highest level ordered this investigation. And this is what the previous president, Jimmy Morales, in 2017 was calling for an investigation into Todd Robinson, because allegedly Todd Robinson was raping little boys over here in Guatemala. So I get this document that was this investigation done into Todd Robinson in 2017. And I had it translated into English. And it basically states that Todd Robinson is, number one, a raging alcoholic. He's gay. He has two gay lovers. One of them works at the U.S. Embassy, and one was a Guatemalan national. This man would get drunk. There wasn't a meeting or anything that happened that Todd Robinson did that didn't involve drinks. He was a huge raging alcoholic, and he would throw these Diddy-style freak-off parties at his private palace in Guatemala, where he was having the cartels deliver little boys to his property. And there.
Yeah. Sick, I know. Disgusting, man.
There's allegedly that a 13-year-old boy was raped at one of these parties, and the mother filed a police report and an investigation into him. And he used his powers inside the Guatemalan police departments to destroy that evidence. And that's what Jimmy Morales was calling for, for an investigation into Todd Robinson. And that's why our government, our State Department, was hell-bent on overthrowing Jimmy Morales. If you go back to 2017, there was a coup attempt. And that coup attempt came a couple months after Jimmy Morales called for the investigation. And then at one of his freak-off parties, he gets so drunk that he goes and takes a gun from a security guard, starts shooting the gun into the air. The security guard tries to get his gun back. A scuffle breaks out. The security guard is shot in the leg. And nobody to this day has ever heard or spoke to that security guard again. And this is an internal document that I sent you this morning in an email from some office in Guatemala. And I've now given all this information to the Guatemalan authorities as well.
Who exactly is Todd Robinson, for our audience who's not familiar with him?
That is a great question. Todd Robinson graduated from Georgetown University in 1985, and then in 86 was immediately picked up by our State Department. And since then, he's gone from organization to organization to organization. These are job titles that I don't know. I've never even heard of these positions, but they're somehow in our government. And then it goes all the way up to his last position, when he was just removed from his previous position. Give me 2 seconds, and I'll pull that up here for you, and I'll tell you the exact title of that position. Wait for it. Okay, here it is. So he was just the Assistant Secretary of State for International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs. So he's the top international narcotics and law enforcement officer in the world. And we now have the worst drug epidemic ever in American history. And that's the guy who's responsible for it.
And his bank accounts reflect millions of dollars in payments, offshore bank accounts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Has anyone in the Trump administration reached out to try to help with this at this point? Or, where do things stand? I know under the Biden administration, of course, they've tried to completely hide their connections to what has happened in Guatemala. Where do things stand now with the Trump administration?
I think what Trump's doing with USAID, I think there's a lot more to this story. I think we're going to find out.
And that's what I told y'all in these past videos we've been doing on the USAID, man. It's going to be I'm telling you, man. People are, you think you're raising your eyebrows now. All right, just wait.
Every single one of these Democrats that are going out there and trying to defend USAID right now, I think they're terrified that if Elon starts looking into the money and these organizations start getting audited, you're going to start to find a lot of these politicians, these unelected bureaucrats with offshore bank accounts. I couldn't figure it out. The Democrats, and when they're a politician, it made sense that USAID was funding NGOs, NGOs were donating to the political campaigns, and that money was coming back full circle. But the unelected bureaucrats, I couldn't never figure it out. But now that I'm seeing all these offshore bank accounts, it's like, oh, okay, that money's going into an offshore bank account. That's how you're getting paid back.
What does the Guatemalan Attorney General's office hope will come of this by bringing this information to you, providing a thumb drive, these offshore accounts? What are they hoping that you'll be able to do in Guatemala?
I got this information, not from the Attorney General's, Clayton, from a confidential human source that brought it to me. I just delivered it to the Attorney General's office today. So they're just now receiving all of this information, allegedly, for the first time. I had sources that said that they've tried to get it to them before. Maybe it didn't make it to the right person, but now they 100% have it. And what they're looking for is they're looking for the cooperation. I was talking to them prior to this. They want the cooperation of the Trump administration. They want to work hand in hand with the Trump administration to completely eradicate corruption and hold every single corrupt government official inside Guatemala accountable, along with anybody from USAID or any American organizations that were working with the corrupt individuals. I interviewed a girl this weekend, Clayton, that could tell you how much money, within a few $100, how many quintillas can fit in a shoebox. I could pick up any bag in my room. She was the bag girl for these corrupt politicians in Guatemala, to the point where she could tell you exactly to like the thousandth of a dollar how much can fit in any bag, any container in a room. That's how much money she was passing around in cash for these guys.
What happened to these children?
These children are in America right now, and we need to find them. We need to get hands on them. Our government processed them migratorily. They put them into a system, and they've delivered them to unvetted, undocumented illegal immigrants all throughout our country. The worst things humanly possibly unimaginable are happening to these children right now. 100% fact that as we speak, in the time that we've been on this call, that 100% one of these migrant children is being raped as we speak. And our government vetted the adult that they gave that child to, Clayton.
Our government deeply involved in this. It's being run by Satanists. I mean, there's no other way to put it right now. And that's why Democrats are so upset about this being exposed. It's deeply, deeply troubling. Ryan, thank you for bringing this to us. Stay safe. We will be following this story. Anything?
Prayers. That's my prayers to them, man, and these whistleblowers and people that are exposed. We are exposing the corruption, y'all. Make sure y'all share this video. Like the video, share the video. Man. And I want to send a huge shout out to my Australian family, my brother Robert. I mean, always sending me amazing videos, making sure I check this out. I'm always on point. So huge shout out to my Australian family. I love you, brother. And boy, you just can't make this up, man.
Thing we can do to try to help as this story unfolds, to try to push the Trump administration in any way we can. We've been, focused obviously with you on this child trafficking story from the beginning. So let us know what we can do. Okay.
Oh boy.